Hi, welcome to your Astrology Forecast for May 14th through May 20th, 2015. On May 14th, the moon conjuncts the South Node in Aries. Now, this can help us to become aware of any parts of ourselves that we are maybe not in alignment with any longer, and perhaps just shedding away of old ways of being and doing things and behaviors even, and things that are keeping us from being truly true to ourselves and also to our emotional selves. And then also on May 14th, Mars in Gemini opposes Saturn in Sagittarius. So Mars in Gemini, it may have us being a bit more defensive about ways of thinking or ideas, and we may be having a lot more ideas at this time that we might just feel more attached to, or kind of just feel like an ego attachment to even. And then Saturn and Sagittarius opposing that may have us being a bit more rigid in our beliefs and unwilling to really move away from our beliefs or look at another point of view, perhaps. So this could bring up tensions on this day, and there could be debates about ideas or beliefs that people have, and there could even be debates about religion or science or anything of that nature that could be related to anything that you would think of or believe in. So just try not to be too rigid in your beliefs or in your thinking, and try not to be too defensive when it comes to ideas, so that perhaps you can gain a new perspective and integrate these two energies more so that you can kind of come up with a new way of looking at the world and expanding beyond limiting beliefs. So it could be interesting to have a debate as long as you don't get too heated about it, because Mars involved might have you being a bit more heated or defensive. So if you can avoid talking about stuff like that, that'd probably be better, but it may be unavoidable to talk about it on this day, because it will probably be brought up somehow, and then the tensions will probably arise. But if you can't avoid it, that'd probably be, easier. But if not, then try to be open-minded. Okay, on May 15th, the moon conjuncts Uranus in Aries. So this is great for having new experiences, breaking free of routine and trying new things. And Uranus will likely bring unexpected occurrences into your life. And it could even, bring surprises. It could be even shocking. You could gain a lot of shocking insights on this day. And you may even gain wider awareness into yourself and into your emotional state. But it would just be a great day for having an adventure and going outside of your comfort zone and just gaining new experiences and awarenesses, so that you can really just break free of the regular everyday patterns and routines. And then on May 16th, the moon moves into Taurus. So this is going to help us to tune into our values and into our finances, and really kind of get a hang of what's going on financially. And you'll feel kind of more in tune with your possessions and also with your senses. So it may be a good day to enjoy things where you get to enjoy your senses, like getting a massage would be awesome, or just enjoying some really good food or music, or just your, whatever it is you have around your home, enjoying the things that you have and just taking care of the things that you have even. And yeah, just enjoying what it is you value, and tuning in into what you value, so that you feel better about yourself too. And then Venus in Cancer trines Neptune in Pisces on this day as well, which is great for really finding more of a romantic connection in your relationships and feeling more in tune with your intuition when it comes to your relationships. And it may be a bit more idealistic right now in your relationships, which can be great, but it can also be an over idealism at the extreme. But ultimately, this is great for really tuning into your imaginative faculties and really being able to share deeper with somebody through your emotions, even, and tuning into the intuitive side of things as well. And it's also good for getting in touch with your family as well, because Venus might make things a bit more harmonious when it comes to your family, and being able to share deeper with your family, and especially with a parent at this time would be more possible. You'll be able to share more of yourself and more of the unconscious stuff that's going on with you in a way that is more harmonious and intuitive. And then on May 17th, the moon conjuncts the sun in Taurus, which is a new moon. So this is really great for coming into alignment with your values, and there may be adjustments needed for some people, but ultimately you'll probably feel kind of better about yourself on this day and more in tune with your emotions, and your inner and your outer world will be more in alignment, and you can start new things, especially around things that you value and that you could even potentially make money from, or even just kind of getting things back into alignment in terms of that as well. And on May 18th, the moon moves into Gemini. So this is going to be helpful for communicating how it is you're feeling and being able to look at your emotions in a more mental perspective, which can be both good or bad depending on how you use it. It can be helpful so that you can really communicate your emotions in an objective way, but it can be bad in the way where you are overthinking your emotions and create like a mental drama about them, which can, make things worse. But if you utilize it for just communicating how you're feeling, then it's probably the more positive side of that. And other than that, I mean, it's great for talking to your neighbors and people around your neighborhood, and just having more fun talking to people, and maybe even having a nice heart-to-heart conversation over the phone or even just in person. And then the moon conjuncts Mars in Gemini. So this could make you maybe a little bit irritable, but it's also good for confronting your emotions so that you can talk them out. But if you don't become aware of your emotions first, then it could actually end up causing you to be a bit more crabby without really knowing why you're being crabby. So it's a good idea to kind of tune into your emotions so that you understand what's going on with them. And with Gemini, you kind of do have to like consciously do that. It's not just something that might come naturally on this day, because Gemini is so caught up in its head that it doesn't always go into its emotions as easily. So going into your emotions might kind of help counter some of that mental energy that could occur, so that you can communicate what is actually happening without causing the crabbiness factor. And it might even be a good idea to exercise on this day so that you'll feel better, and so that you're more in your body and less in your head. And then Mercury in Gemini sextiles Jupiter in Leo, and they both in conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, which opposes Venus in Cancer, creating a boomerang yod. So Venus in Cancer is semi-sextile both Mercury and Jupiter in this boomerang yod. So the main focus here is expressing what's going on with you emotionally in your relationships, because Pluto and Capricorn may be bringing things up from under the surface around your career or around your role in the grand scheme of what you do, like your status and whatnot. So there may be some things bubbling under the surface from there, and so it'd be a good idea to express what's happening when it comes to like your home life and your family relationships, like explaining to them what's happening with you, so that you can kind of integrate the energies more. And because usually when something is going on under the surface, the people around you can sense that there's something going on, but they may not know what, and you could be sending out funny signals. So it'd be good to express those things so that it doesn't, cause uncomfortable or just odd kind of, an odd sense or something, or where it's still stuck under the surface. Basically expressing that can help it bring it out from under the surface where it can cause less problems, basically. And then on May 18th, Mercury in Gemini goes retrograde. So communication could get a bit funny during this time, and things could also, get messed up that involves communication, like, computers and telephones and cell phones and any form of communication devices of sorts can end up having problems. But ultimately, what Mercury retrograde wants you to do is to go within yourself more, so that you're not just focusing on the outer world all of the time, and perhaps some things are meant to be left unsaid. And so it's good to kind of understand what's going on with you mentally and what you mean to say, and kind of maybe even editing anything that you've written already, kind of going over old books, maybe even rereading books potentially, or just rereading anything or editing anything, basically. Just taking care of things that you've already done so that it's more refined, and also basically just kind of understanding what's happening within yourself before you explain what's happening to anybody else. But, and so yeah, that's kind of how you deal with Mercury retrograde, is basically dealing with things that you've already done and going within. Okay. On May 19th, the moon conjuncts Mercury in Gemini, which basically is joining the boomerang god here. So the moon joins with Mercury sextiling Jupiter and in conjunct Pluto, with Venus in Cancer opposing Pluto, semi-sextiling those other two there, or three now since the moon's there. Anyways, the moon will bring our emotions even more on board. And I mean, I did say that you should express yourself and all of that stuff. Just be careful how you express yourself, because maybe the way that you're communicating things isn't coming out quite correctly. And so it might be a good idea to figure out what's happening with you under the surface, so that you can kind of understand what's happening before you try to communicate it to anybody. So, yeah. All right. I hope this has found you well, and I hope you have an awesome week. Peace.